Well, welcome everyone. This is our March Q&A for how we align our thoughts with our purpose. My name is April Ballestero. For those of you that have not met me, I get to be the executive coach and founder of One Light Ahead and One Light Academy, and we are a resource for individuals that are ready to align their thoughts with their purpose through a multitude of different resources, from our leadership academies to our self-leadership to our living on layered retreats, because over 10,000 hours of coaching has developed the opportunity to own the gift of getting to serve people and discover what really drives their potential, drives their thinking, and aligns them with the ultimate result that they want to create. And we have a special guest with us today, Miss Lisa. And Lisa prefers to go by Lisa Grace now, but we will give you some clarity about Miss Lisa as we also prepare you for what the purpose of this Q&A is. We highlight our guests on a monthly basis. Sometimes I will be the guest, yet today we have a special guest. And the reason we have our special guests is they've been through one of our programs. They've been through a journey that has taught them how to align their purpose with their thoughts. And so we also set it up so where they can understand their internal and external worlds and how that aligns in their choices and their actions and ultimately creates a life they want to experience. So let me share with you who Lisa is. So, the exciting thing about Miss Lisa, besides my personal connection with her, is she also is an individual that has over, and let me get my screens where they all are supposed to be, over a 40-year career in information technology. She transitioned into retirement where she embraces her role as a certified faith-based divorce coach and grief recovery specialist. If you've not read the book, Grief Recovery Handbook, it's a very valuable book. And she is a specialist and a coach to consider in that journey. Alongside, she offers VA and tech support to a select clientele, blending her IT expertise with her newfound calling in her personal life. Lisa's happily remarried at the center of a beautiful blended family with 8 grandchildren, finding joy and fulfillment in both her personal and professional contributions and her rich family life. Her retirement is marked not by slowing down, but by personal redirection, because she's helping others and enjoying her family, showcasing a vibrant blend of professional skills and personal passions. Welcome, Ms. Lisa. What would you like to share with our audience before we dig in?
Thank you. I couldn't have written that better.
Love it. And will you share, just before we get into the specifics, is there anything specific that's on your heart? Just not any of our basic questions, but anything that's on your heart to share.
At the moment, I would say that anyone that's listening to this recording, that they have so much potential that it might not be tapped into, and that they have a purpose. And sometimes we forget that purpose. So I feel very fortunate to have reawakened that with, participating in your trainings and getting to know some of the other people who are also equally dedicated to growth, personal growth, professional growth at any age.
And that's so powerful to say. And so one of the questions, we've given you a set of questions in advance. And one of them was, what were you looking for before you found our programs? Did you even know what you were looking for? What were you searching for?
Again, I backed into this training because you're one of my select clientele that I provide tech support to. So I really went into it with learning your language, learning what you do, but what I so gratefully learned is that at the center of my being, because you do those exercises, that I have a calling to be of service to others. Mm-hmm. And I feel that, but it just reinforced it. Being on that mat and doing the brave and whole exercise, and kind of reaffirming that, am I just doing this because I want to do it, or am I really doing this because I have a calling? And I learned that at my core being, I have a calling that I've been called to do. So.
Lisa, a couple of things to help our audience with. You are talking about an exercise that we do. We combine with our self-leadership program through Axiogenics, where you actually go through an assessment, you discover your thinking patterns, you walk through 4 weeks with a group, the people that you talked about that you got to know personally. Then you come to an in-person event where you have read the book called Slaying the Onion. You've done some whole and brave exercises before the retreat, at the retreat. This book that she's holding up, thank you for sharing. That is well documented. It got her little pink tabs on it because the whole and brave exercise, what you're talking about, seems so unique, and it is. And until you walk on the physical mat, which started off as a sheet, the first retreat, and it became a vinyl mat that is a 10 by 10, takes up a good portion of the room, and you literally walk through layer by layer of the whole and brave layers and labyrinth. And we, in each chapter of that book, we describe each of those things. So it's really the first level of experience is just stepping on the mat, never mind getting to the core of the mat and discovering where you are when you walked into that core. Agreed?
I do, and I want to say something. It's a experiential experience.
Mm-hmm.
You can read it in a book, and you can do the exercises, and you can do the journal. But when you actually physically immerse your whole body and your whole self into who you are at the center, who your core externally and internally, professionally, and personally, you have a way of bringing that out full circle and labyrinth. But it was just amazing. So when you asked me what I was searching for, I didn't know that I was searching for validation
Mm.
for my calling.
Isn't that amazing? And when you think about the search and then what you've gained and how you get to live it out now, where are you at with that? What have you discovered of how now that you've discovered it and you realize you were searching for that and and you got validation and confirmation and with a whole group of people that were going through the same journey. So I mean that physical experience was a whole different aspect than just reading it and physically writing out the answers, but then walking it out. It's a whole different aspect. So what have you gained? How do you see it lived out now?
Well, I am showing up differently in the emails that I send out to my database.
That's
And
powerful.
so the last 2 weeks, I have really added a specific call to action. And as a result, I have 2 discovery calls that have been booked, and it really was a matter of, I think in the past, I was afraid to do the ask.
Mhm.
Like, why would they want to hire me? But I now know that they need to hire me, not for me, but for them and for the greater good. I don't want, my coaching business is second act coaching. The best is yet to come. And I want everyone to know that they're not stuck in their journey, that, there's so much more. And it just reinforced that. That's what I'm taking away from my experience at your retreat.
Well, Lisa, so not only did you gain the awareness that the coach that you are called to be, never mind the giftings you get to share in your other wonderful, fun careers that you have, right? Because you have multitude of hats that you get to wear, right?
Yep.
And even in that journey, you've been through an awareness that you are here to provide a value. And your value is what people are hiring you for. It's not about, and one of the things you learned in the self-leadership program is the give and receive value. And that the give gives you the ability to receive. And that's been one of the biggest gifts of that game.
What I want to add when you say give and receive value
Mhm.
is that is a mantra that I now say to myself daily. How
Mhm.
can I give value? And equally, how can I gain value?
Mhm.
It's not, before, I don't know if I would have said, what value can I gain? But it's not selfish. It's like, it's improving, it's making my life more rich. And in return, I can give value. And so with with going through your retreat at a pivotal moment in my life, a faith, I got to write a talk for one of my dear friends' celebration of life. And if I hadn't gone to this retreat, I would not have had that new mantra. How can I give and receive value? And what that did, I don't know how many people feel comfortable standing up in front of 500 people,
Mhm.
but that's the crowd that was at the celebration of life. And I wasn't nervous because it wasn't about me. And in
Mhm.
the past, it would have been all about me, and I would have been nervous and I would have not delivered. But it wasn't about me. It was about me giving value to my friend's husband and to my friend Sharon and to the people in attendance. And really, that also gave me value in being able to do that.
Mhm.
So,
Well, and as a grief recovery coach who is in grief and is speaking in the midst of grief, was being able to share truly be in celebration of who you were, who she was, and who it is to you today,
mhm.
and who they get to experience from being in that moment. And one of the things that we use is that central question from self leadership, from the book, the central question: what choice can I make? What action can I take in this moment to create the greatest net value? And that net is all people considered, including myself, pros, cons, short and long term. And Lisa, that was a perfect moment of you celebrating a very beautiful relationship in that moment and being truly about that net value or give and gain. And just a beautiful gift. So
Yeah, it was an experience that I know was enriched by the timing of our training and the people that have come in my life because of the training. And yeah, so I thank you for that.
you're very welcome. And Lisa, the final question before we obviously opened it up to the rest of the group and any other things you want to share is the awareness of how your thoughts really did align personally and professionally. What have you learned about how your thoughts did align?
I have, I think most people, well, I'll talk for myself, have a little bit of imposter syndrome, and that, I shouldn't be out there. But again, it's not about me per se. It's the net value. And so that's one of the greatest things that I've learned, that it's okay to be, I was going to say it's okay to be large and in charge, but I don't
Mhm.
mean it like that.
I hear you.
It's
Mhm.
okay to have a purpose and
Mhm.
know that you're being called to deliver because you've been charged to provide help to those who need it.
Well, Marianne Williamson's quote came up for me in regards to, you're giving nobody value by playing small. And our opportunity, I'm totally paraphrasing. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
The gift. And as we wrap up it and you think of anything else you want to share, I just want to celebrate you in your journey of choosing to commit to something that, as you said, it doesn't matter what age you're at. It matters at the gift of understanding that there's still time. There's still opportunity to learn. There's still time to discover what is my real calling. And when we use that word calling, a lot of people get confused by it. But even in scriptural, it says vocation in the dictionary, and behind at the end of it, it says it's your calling is your vocation. And sometimes a vocation is personal and professional. Sometimes the call of being in give and gain value is personal and professional. And you chose to step up to that plate and receive the opportunity and live it out. So thank you for your willingness.
One thing I wanted to add, April, from you sparked me. For so long, for 40 years, I was in information technology. I supported people. I technology wise. And when I retired, I don't tell too many people that I have a tech background because then they want me to help them. Not you, not anyone. I'm just saying I just keep it down low. But as you say, my gifting has been being used in such a beautiful way that I have so much, like, I want to do it. There's a difference in begrudgingly doing it and wanting to do it. And
Yes.
so that made me also think that anyone that might be listening to this that maybe is a little older, think about the wisdom we have,
Truth.
and that we then can align our wisdom with our true purpose in retirement.
Mhm.
And I am loving every day that I get to be retired because I'm doing exactly what I want to do, not under the direction of someone else. So that's how I want to end that.
Isn't that beautiful? Well, we thank you for joining us. We thank you for being open to the conversations, and we will look forward as you continue to be part of our beautiful community. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you, April.
Thank you.